giving is all about listening and believing, listening to them and believing that they can do it.
It's also the recognition that there is inequality in the world, right? And giving is the act of remedying that.
Giving is about sharing. So sharing what you have, because you cannot give what you don't have.
You know that this is the season of giving, and you give so much based on what you're doing for a living, what you're doing as your profession. So we'd like to learn from you. How do you define giving?
Giving to me is really thinking about the other person, listening to them, listening to what their dreams are, what their needs are, what they're yearning for at that moment. And when I think about when I partner with farmers and fisher folks in rural Philippines, I think about, two things, what their dreams are, what their needs are. And I think giving is all about listening and believing, listening to them and believing that they can do it because they can.
Almost immediately when we think about giving, our minds go to giving material goods or resources. And in my line of work, and even in my own personal community work, time and space are probably just as valuable as any type of material support. Giving encompasses the impact of whatever it is that one is able to contribute. And it's also the recognition that there is inequality in the world, right? And giving is the act of remedying that.
Giving is about sharing. So sharing what you have, because you cannot give what you don't have. I find that in my work, people or the communities that we work with really value the time and knowledge and the knowledge exchange that happens between us and the communities.
Our farmers in the Philippines, they, for the most part, drop out at the age of 10 and the third grade, and they don't get much support in terms of capital. And the resources that they get is also quite limited. It's just not right? That people who are feeding us are struggling to feed their kids and send them to school. We come from very modest, families, and, we've attained successes in our careers because of two things. One, our parents invested in us. And second, what they invested in was education. And that enabled to open doors. And so that made us create ARC, because we saw that there is a need. So we partner with those communities who are determined, who invest in themselves, and want to secure their food, want to get their kids back to school, and want to be on a self-sustaining path.
So Say Philippine Seas began as a social media campaign back in 2011, and it was initially a response to a large-scale illegal wildlife trade. And then 2 years later, it became an NGO, a nonprofit. So we're actually turning 10 years old next year, and we focus on shark conservation, waste management, so pollution, especially marine debris, which is the trash that we find in the ocean, is a big focus for us, and environmental education.
We operate primarily in Los Angeles within a nonprofit known as KFAM. And I ended up here because I learned that Filipino children make up the highest number of Asian children in the LA foster system. And to be honest, I was curious, why are these kids in the system in the first place? And the more that I learned, the more that I realized that assisting these children requires genuine knowledge of their culture, including understanding their specific traumas. And so I'm responsible for getting to know really deeply these individuals and these couples who want to become resource or foster parents.
How do we give from where we are?
I think everyone has the ability to create change. So how you can help, how can you lend your resources or your networks? If you are in LA, please connect with me and we can help spread the awareness about the need for more Filipino resource families. Invite us to your church, your book club, whatever it is. Our Filipino outreach team is just 2 people right now, so we need as much people power from volunteers and community members. Donate your time or resources. Just know that whatever you can give will go a long way for these children.
You can save the seas and you can take care of the environment from wherever you are. You don't have to be a mermaid like me. You don't have to run a nonprofit. You can definitely just start by being mindful of your choices and see how your decisions every day make an impact on the environment and make changes from there. So aim for progress, not perfection.
With respect to ARC and with respect to partner farmers and their kids, we hope that you would invest in us and the farming communities. You can go to ruralkids.org/invest and invest $55 to help farming families secure their food for life.
$55. I can't get over that. $55 for life. You're saving a family for
Yeah.
life with $55. This is what we're doing now. We're fostering community. We're supporting each other, trying to learn from each other.
They can give by co-investing with people who are investing in themselves. And it's the best way of giving because it's lasting. You know, it's lasting because when you put them on a path where they can stand on their own, it just keeps giving back.